exactly like my example before of like the casino floor. Like this is exactly it. Like you get everybody bunched around the craps table, and like one guy's rolling, and everyone's like betting. Like this is like the same thing. So it's fine. Like, you guys had your fun. You managed to
We
round
want
trip
more
a
fun,
few.
Jordi.
I was
Yeah,
so
well, I
euphoric.
mean,
I was so
we need more
euphoric. You had
fun.
no idea.
It was
No.
insane. I've never seen someone happier. I remember, Taiki, I said to you, like, you should probably like take a little profit, just and let the rest ride. And you were like, no, the job's not done.
The job's not finished. I remember saying that. I remember, Justin, we're in a group chat and you were like, all right, just one more 2x, just one more fucking 2x, and I'm selling everything. And it never
Yeah.
came. It always happens. Like the one more 2x is like the most dangerous 3 words you can speak in crypto terms.
Welcome everybody to Steady Lads. It's just the 3 lads today. Hi Justin. Hi Taiki. How are you guys feeling out of 10? Give me like a number.
Ooh. Well, we're gonna bring the hopium today, so an 8, 7 or 8.
Out of 10. Wow.
I'm dead inside.
Taiki, are you close to seppuku, or like how close are you?
Well, the Fartcoin price is 53 cents, so I'm a 5.3 out of 10.
5.3 out of 10. All right. That's that's how you know. So Taiki has not fully capitulated. He is still riding the emotional roller coaster, as seem to be a lot of people. And it's just going to be the lads. So it's a good opportunity for us to do a bit more of an evergreen episode and kind of reflect on what's going on out there. It's been a wild start to the year. We've had guests lately, but this time I think we can dive in a little bit deeper on some of the topics that we want to get into. One is like, just the market conditions, like what the hell is going on? What's going on with altcoins? New altcoins, so like fair launches and what's been happening with like launches lately. There's a lot of discussions there. We want to touch upon meme coins. There's been huge reversion, unfortunately, and some of the heroes like the BonkBot guy have been taking some fire. So we'll take a look at that. And yeah, a potpourri of like other fun stuff. There's just never a quiet
Wait,
week.
Jordi, how are
Ever.
you doing?
Out of 10.
I'm doing 7.5 out of 10. Only because I'm fighting some flu that a lot of people seem to be fighting out there. But in conditions wise, like with this market, I'm pretty happy. Like I've been expecting it. It happened. It's getting a lot of shit on comments on all these, podcasts I've been doing, saying like this guy's too bearish. What is he talking about? Get the bear off. And the few people that listen, I think, probably took a lot of exposure off over the last month. And we said this last week, but it's pretty clear at this point that the Trump MELANIA token launches were not, in fact, the most bullish thing that's ever happened. Even for Solana, like, it's kind of sad. I've talked to a bunch of liquid managers, and everyone's down for the year. Like, I don't know anyone who's up. A lot of people got chopped up on Solana, especially. It feels like they tried to long, the leverage play on the onboarding event. That onboarding event, which was the biggest in history, they were saying, I don't know, it doesn't seem to move the needle in terms of the crypto economy.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's like not really productive to think about this stuff or talk about it, but where do you think we'd be without the Trump coin and the MELANIA coin? Do you think it'll be? I mean, maybe like this dump was inevitable, but maybe it would have prolonged the parabolas in the old narratives. What do you guys think?
I think 100%. What happened is we got the sugar high, and then once we started getting off the sugar high, it just kept like there was momentum on like rolling down the hill, and the ball just kept rolling down the hill. And then we started deleveraging. Like there's been all this leverage in the system, and the leverage is not necessarily on purpose. It's just like people holding too many coins and assuming that one whiff is at least $3, and then they assume that they have $3 million because they have 1 million whiff, and then they realize actually they have less than $1 million, and now it's even less, and then they start selling other stuff, and it just starts the deleveraging part of the system. And what we've realized, and I think now it's very clear, is that there's too many tokens, and it's not the same game as last cycle. It's a completely different game, and there's no alt season. Maybe we'll kind of parlay into my tweet, which was one of the kind of most discussed this week. I got a lot of Kaido yaps. So 3 points I made here in this tweet. Number one, Stop asking when alt season. There's no alt season. Like there's nothing coming. Like what the kind of alt seasons that have been happening over the last year, like those are the things that will keep happening, which are, you know, liquidity, just as in macro conditions, as we see in equities and other risk assets, will come and go. There'll be like months of good liquidity and months of bad liquidity. And it's like when the guy gets his paycheck and goes and gambles it at the casino, the money will come in, it'll quickly disperse, you know, in the usual sort of GameStop type of games, right? It'll end up in someone's pocket, and then it'll be quiet until like the next paycheck. So that was number one. Number two, even on the Bitcoin cycle, stop expecting like this standard 4-year cycle. Yes, it worked until now. It doesn't mean it's going to work going forward. There's no reason why it would work going forward. All the reasons that like were the structural reasons for the 4-year Bitcoin cycle are gone. You know, macro is a very different type of beast now, with interest rates not really like helping whether they go up or down because the debt is too high. So it sort of balances out, and we'll just have random choppiness. And number three, this L1 premium of just say you're an L1 and now you get comped to, you know, Ethereum and Solana because you're an L1. That doesn't work anymore because it's finally, and I'm happy about this, everyone's done it. Every single token is an L1. Even the L2s call themselves L1s now. Like everyone's L1. So it just cancels out, and finally we can move off this stupid L1 premium thing, which never made sense.
There still is a premium, right? I mean, Bear Chain just went live with like, I think it launched like a 5 bill FTV. Now it's like 2.6 or something. And Story Protocol will launch soon at like 3.
But
you know,
those are not like premiums over their private round valuations, which were very close to those numbers. I mean, they both raised around 2 billion. So those are for locked tokens. So the unlocked tokens trading around 2.5 is not a premium. The premium, here's how to think about the premium, and like why historically maybe it made sense. When you have people, and we talked about this in the AI episode, when you have people building upon your stack and giving value, they're creating a network effect and they're creating like positive externalities, then you can have a premium because you're getting the free labor of other people. Like they're kind of working for you. So everyone building on Solana is like working for Solana. Like that exists, and Ethereum had that to a certain extent. There's too many L1s now, and like trying to attract people to actually give their labor, you have to bribe them. You have to give them grants, tokens, all this stuff, and everyone's giving grants. So it just reaches the fair market value of like, you know, what does a talented dev shop need to build something, or who even knows if these random things being built matter. But the bottom line is that talent, like free labor talent, has realized that they don't want to give their work away for nothing. They want to earn the benefit of their talent. And maybe Ethereum is suffering a little bit because of that as well, because it used to be that it was the only chain that had liquidity. So like naturally you would suck in all the talent. Now, if you're like a very talented builder who has a good idea, you're going to do your own chain and just collect the chain premium for yourself. So apps and chains kind of start merging. And we saw this with Hyperliquid. We saw this with Ethena, with a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I have a couple thoughts on that. Like the first is the too many tokens piece. A lot of people on Twitter I noticed are like basically directing their frustration at things like Pump Fun for there being too many tokens. I actually don't think that's where the problem's from. It's too many L1s, too many L2s, too many chains, too many pieces of infrastructure that are doing the same thing. Like I think is an interesting thought experiment. I thought of this last cycle too. Like imagine if Ethereum was the only chain and Solana and Avalanche never popped up. Like what Ethereum probably would have hit 10K last cycle. And now imagine if Solana was the only chain, like where it would probably be at 1,000 now if there weren't all these other chains leeching value. And then the second piece is like on your point about chains bribing builders or basically paying builders and sort of like distributing our crypto economy by getting different apps that people are using on different chains. Just as like a personal anecdote, when I was before Astaria got acquired, when we were working on that, like our apps had very little traction. Unfortunately, like we never got a real breakout product market fit app. We built 3 or 4 apps over the company lifecycle. Each time we were about to launch the app, we talked to several different chain vendors, different L2s, different L1s, and without fail, like just because we had raised money, we had like very large grant offers to deploy on their chain. Like we're talking, like mid to high six figures. And that's without having like strong product market fit. Just imagine like how much these teams are giving out to, teams that have like a lot of traction, a lot of product market fit. Like you're going to go where you're getting paid to go, to your point, Jordi.
Yeah, I mean, we had this last cycle too. Maybe we call this like dev grant arbitrage, where a dev can just like launch a fork on a chain, get a grant, and then after the vesting is over, they it goes to zero. Then they launch a new thing, get a grant, goes to zero. I still see this where like I know devs that's been working on like failed products like a few years ago. Like now they're raising more money to like launch on like Berachain, Monad, Mega ETH, like all these like new hype chains. Maybe like that's like the most profitable trading strategy, right? That's a very profitable trading strategy. Just understand that all these L1 tokens or L2 tokens are overvalued as shit. Just get those grants, leave, and just live a good life.
I mean, the misery that we're seeing now with a lot of market participants, the positive side of it is that we are speed running finally, like getting to like an equilibrium of what makes sense in the world. Like if it's too easy to just get this premium, then everybody gets it and then it goes away. If it's too easy to launch a meme coin, there's a billion meme coins, and so like that goes away. If you're president now, like every president, I saw that there was like a Central African Republic launching a coin. Like I don't know what's going on out there.
I missed it. I've been plugged
yeah,
into the trenches and somehow I missed that one.
you
I think
missed
it
that
launched
one.
on Africa time, not US time.
Yeah, I'm not even going to touch that one because I don't even know what the implications of something like that are.
Jordi, if you
But
ever start market making a country's token, you have to let us know.
okay, I don't foresee any countries tokens, but we are not done with celebrity tokens. That seems to be the case, and I think we have more to come. I think the latest that we've seen is Dave Portnoy, famous day trader, as he calls himself. He had some very entertaining content, and just to catch everybody up to speed, he is deep in the trenches now. He is pumping, dumping coins and having fun, and he is no shame. He's telling it like it is. Let's get a little clip out, and we'll show you guys.
Challenge MVP, and there's a lot of what's big bad dude. Shut the fuck up. All you shit corners, meme corners, shut the fuck up. All right. I told you what I'm doing. I said I'm gonna buy the coins and I'm gonna fucking dump them. All right. I'm trying to make money like every other of you motherfuckers on the fucking meme coin, shit coin trip. I just spit. I don't care. I'm mad. This isn't my own coin. If I launch my own coin, put my name on it, trust me, I'm going to make sure I don't get fucking scammed. I'm not going to rug pull. I'm not going to dump. I'm not going to do any of that shit. These are other coins that are already out there that I'm telling you I bought, and you know what I'm doing. I'm trying to make money. It pops. I sell it when I feel like it. It's like the Rocket game. It's the Yodler on The Price is Right. Yodel, and how high it goes and when do you want to get out. It's a risk. And
so true. You can't knock them. It's so true.
I mean, we talk about this. These are musical chair games, like, and I feel comfortable with this. Every time I go to a Vegas casino, I see the poker table, but there's also other things. There's people playing craps. There's people playing slots, and this is a new slot machine. You have a game where somebody just points to a token and everybody tries to be early, and then a lot of people are not early, and it's a net negative, and like net people lose money. But we've had, I think Suzu kind of pointed out today in his tweet that last cycle we had these huge Telegram pump and dumps where somebody would post a ticker in the Telegram and then like thousands of people would randomly buy it and sell it.
Yeah.
So it's just now it's instead of a Telegram group, you have like a celebrity do it, which I guess is the natural speed running of this evolution.
So where do you think the market goes from here, Jordi? Obviously, if the meme coin super cycle doesn't materialize, the logical explanation is, like maybe we'll. I don't know. It's so funny.
You're like, if it doesn't materialize, it's funny that Murad is like, I saw that I saw like there's some defensiveness now from the meme coin guys. Like they're not really, their thesis not playing out, but they think it's like it's not done yet. The game's not over yet. So let's get a couple tweets. There was somebody making fun of Bonk guy, and he used the parable. Maybe we can get this tweet up. It's this like famous parable of the drowning man. You know, the guy like he needs God to save him. It's like, hey, God's gonna save me, and the guy says, jump in, and it's like, no, I don't want to jump in. Like I don't need the motorboat. God's gonna save me. And then it's like the helicopter, jump in, we're gonna lift you out. It's like, no, God's gonna save me. It's fine. So then, like, he like just starts drowning, and then he finally has a chance to go to heaven and talk to God, and God says, I told you, like I gave you so many opportunities to get out. And then we see this bonk chart, which is basically like, okay, like this guy made a trade, he was up a lot, and had so many pumps in which you could exit and never took any of them. And now we're kind of like, at the end of possibly like this meme coin cycle. Maybe this is just the beginning and it's going to go up 1,000x from here, and we're all, going to get sidelined. But
Do you think lesson learned? If there's another bailout, do people, take the helicopter and get out of there? Or you think most of these people I saw Bonkbot here, or the Bonk guy, excuse me. He's saying now, he turned 16K into high 7 figures. At one point it was 8 figures. He's not selling. This is actually the time to buy. Do you think these guys are ever going to be able to exit? It's hard to say, right?
I mean, he's not the type of person that would sell on like a bounce to like previous highs, right? He deeply believes in the thesis, and people can make fun of him all he wants, like all they want, but the reality is, this is like still a fantastic trade. We'll see if it ends up working for him, but I think the average person is not really going to learn their lessons. It's like, okay, like,
do you have takeaways from Fartcoin though? I mean, I know we talked about this privately, and I think your takeaway was like, I don't know if I can have conviction in a meme coin again. I was so convicted. But the thing is, you were actually right. Like you just didn't sell in time. So like, have your takeaways changed?
I see Jordi smirking, but honestly, like, what are my takeaways from Fartcoin? I mean, I thought it was like a good trade.
You managed not to round trip the whole thing. At least, some of it you managed to mentally like exit.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, I had a plan, right? I had like insane targets for this thing, and that's where I think that my delusion and mental illness comes from. I don't really regret anything that I did. I had a thesis, I stuck to it. I said I have to, like, once it reaches a certain point, I have to sell, which I did. And now I still hold the bag, but I've been selling a few times on the bounces. I might buy back higher if it shows strength, or I might just have to capitulate lower. But if Fartcoin dies, I don't think I can buy another meme coin again. I just thought it was like the perfect coin, and I don't know.
I've been there. Like it's like you have your like your like love, your one true love, and then once you break up, you're like, okay, love's not real. Like the whole concept is done. So that's where Taiki is right now.
I have some inside baseball too. So Taiki and I were actually in person together. I think at the Pico top of Fartcoin. We were in New York in an office, and it was like late at night, as well, like 10 p.m. or 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. And Taiki, like the Fartcoin price was going up, and we were with like 4 other people. I was like very underinvested. There were 4 other people that were like almost all in. And everyone, like Taiki was literally jumping on the couch, like bouncing off walls. Like it was peak euphoria. And I was like peak depressed. I was like, oh my God, I don't have enough. Like, what am I doing? I'm making a huge mistake here. I was like debating if I should run home and buy some. And like in hindsight, that was such an obvious top. Like the euphoria in that room and like the FOMO that I was experiencing was just insane. It was insane.
Yeah. I think, was this before Trump? I think this was before Trump. It was like pumping to like $1.40 or something. And then it was like, I think it was like a few days before the Trump coin launch. So it was like,
this is exactly like my example before of like the casino floor. Like, this is exactly it. Like you get everybody bunched around the craps table, and like one guy's rolling and everyone's like betting. Like this is like the same thing. So it's fine. Like, you guys had your fun. You managed to.
We want more fun, Jordi.
I was so euphoric.
I mean,
I was so euphoric. You had no idea.
It was insane. No. I've never seen someone happier. I remember, Taiki, I said to you, like, you should probably like take a little profit, just and let the rest ride. And you're like, no, the job's not done.
The job's not finished. I remember saying that. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, I would have regrets if I had if I broke my rules or like broke my plans. But I developed a plan, a thesis. I stuck to it. So I can't really be mad, you know. In hindsight, I wish I
like,
sold, but like,
do you think once you've done, you know, once you've experienced the highs of this drug, can you ever go back to humble farming, or are you just like unable to put the hat back on?
no, I mean, my plan was always like after Fartcoin, I'll go back to farming.
Well, so
Right
everyone
now,
has an "if I make it" strategy, right? So like everyone in their mind has a like, you know, once I hit that number, whatever it is for you, then this is how my life is going to change and what I'm going to do differently. And that seems to be like a trap everyone falls into in my
yeah.
experience.
I remember, Justin, we're in a group chat and you were like, all right, just one more 2x, just one more fucking 2x, and I'm selling everything. And it never
Yeah.
came. You know, it always happens. Like the one more 2x is
Yeah.
like that's like what, like the most dangerous 3 words you can speak in crypto terms. But going back to your question, Jordi, yeah, I mean, right now, I mean, I've been looking into like fundamental coins. It does feel bad, right? It's like, okay, like I just had like a 15-20x on a Fartcoin. It's just like round trip most of it. How can I buy like a deep, like mid curve DeFi bag? But you know, like for me, right? I try to be optimistic. It's like, okay, like I'm good at the DeFi mid curve stuff, right? And I was also able to, you know, be right on like a meme coin technically, right? Even though I didn't really technically sell. So like, okay, like I now I have more confidence that I can navigate most market environments. I guess I have to learn how to sell.
Like if you handle the buying, we handle the selling. Could be a match made in heaven.
It could be actually.
But so this is what you're looking for, right? The market needs Ponzi's that people don't think are Ponzi's. That's sort of what you're trying to find here, or
Yeah. Also,
like new
there's
games?
There's a tweet by I Buy Rugs. It's like technically, you know, people love the fundamental stuff, but all these coins with fundamentals rely on like coins with no fundamentals. So that like this is why most DeFi coins are value traps. It looks cheap, but also like the revenues are cyclical, and they have no moat, so they're pretty much uninvestable. So I'm looking for like, you know, fundamental stuff. Like maybe I think with the David Sachs guy, the crypto czar thing, there's going to be like a stablecoin build passed in the next 3 to 6 months. So maybe RWAs come back. I'm like pretty knowledgeable about like that sector. So maybe like if that does well, I can make money that way. But I'm open-minded, you know. I'm here to make money, right? I'm here to take opportunities. So I have confidence in myself to, you know, do well.
It's gonna be a lot of years of pendle farming to get back to like your 10x on
Jordi.
Fartcoin.
I don't know if I'm gonna farm pen though. I'm still gonna buy coins, Jordi.
Okay, so you're laying off the crack, but you're still gonna like, you know, you're still gonna do some weed. You're not gonna just like go vegan. I got it.
No,
All right.
no. Yeah. I'm on like a
Okay.
dopamine detox right now, but I mean, who knows? Maybe in a month I'll be like full port some random DeFi coin. It's possible.
Looking forward to the next video of I just sold all my ETH, which I don't have any ETH anymore, but if I did, and I bought like, you know, Maker, because now it's again in value territory. Let's see what it is.
Yeah, it's like I sold my Maker for Fartcoin, then I sell my Fartcoin for Maker, and then Fartcoin pumps, and I buy back Fartcoin. It's the virtuous cycle.
Oh man. Anyway, I mean, there's like a few, I guess, like main themes of what's going on right now. Obviously, like one is that the shitcoin casino has reached like the tail end of people just openly pump and dumping. The president has released what is being called by the czar a collectible, and so like other people are doing collectibles, and we're all collecting stuff. And there was a funny tweet today from the Whale Watch Alert. You know, there's a Twitter account tracking all the whales, and there is a this was quite a sentence, quite a mouthful here. So a retardio whale, right? So this is a retardio whale. He has a lot of retardio. He just bought $4,000 of dog shit 2 at $3 million market cap. So there are so many pieces of this that I need to digest. So, you know, we used to be Bitcoin whales. Now we have retardio whales. Okay. I don't know like what level of retardio you need to have to be a whale. And then he bought 4K of dog shit 2 at $3 million market cap. So,
yeah,
the
first dog shit didn't work, so they made a second one.
It's deep value, you know, only $3.8 million. Pretty solid. yeah, that's what we have, that part of the casino. And then on the other hand, we have this whole like being close to Trump and all this stuff going on. And we saw this tweet from Rushi from Movement saying that he, in his opinion, politics is the most important play. So this is a different category. This is not like the kind of casino category. This is the play politics. He says, getting close to the Navy like Microsoft did, or spreading the gospel and getting relationships, partnering with leaders to get into national treasuries, and being the safest way for investors to transact. This was a very controversial tweet. I saw like Zach XBT, a bunch of like people kind of not really necessarily liking the meta. We've talked about this meta of like being close to the powers that are at the moment. Not exactly decentralization. It is quite a pragmatic take by Rushi here, saying that this matters, it's important, and that's his strategy. I don't know what you guys took away from this, but yeah, I don't want to dismiss it. It's one strategy.
Yeah, I mean, I actually think
Yeah.
it's right, and it's good for the space long term, right? I mean, the more people are talking to politicians, embedding themselves with politicians, doing deals with politicians, the more likely it is we have sensible regulation, in my opinion. I mean, it is a little, I don't want to say scammy, but it's obviously a little, the WorldFi pump situation where WorldFi now publicly announced that they're basically buying tokens from projects at a discount in exchange, and they're doing like a token swap, and that's, helping projects tokens pump because now they think the token is aligned with Trump. I think Movement, their token, they did that with WorldFi as well. So it's good for the project. It's a little, it's a little shady, right? But I do think it is good that we're interacting with politicians for once, right, in a productive way.
Yeah, I mean, like a founder's job is to find PMF, right? So if that means, kissing ass or like doing all this stuff, then it's fine. I think people just like don't like Movement because they dropped the token before the product is even out. So it's like, what are these guys doing? But I mean, Rushi's. I think he has like some Kanye tweets. It's like, hey, like, no, hate me or love me, just don't forget me, right? Like
Yeah,
that
I
type
mean,
of vibe.
maybe that's the third type of game, which is just like engagement farming for the sake of engagement farming. Like having just like people talk about you negatively is still having people talk about you.
This is like a
Yeah,
very
look,
common trend we're seeing. It's like project founders doing this deal with World Liberty Financial, and then founders retweeting the purchasing. I do think like the effect of this is going to diminish the more projects do it, right? Like clearly it matters less, but it is like an interesting game they're playing.
as we said, we're speed running the stuff, and yeah, it'll matter less because it'll sort of get desensitized. Just like Elon tweets at some point about Dogecoin didn't move the market even an inch. First it was 50%, then 10%, and then 2%, and 10 bips, and now it's like goes down when he mentions it. Like it's sort of being desensitized. But of course, there's like a dark side to all this, which is that at the end of the day, there is still regulatory agencies that are involved in regulating the financial activities, and at the end, when something bad happens, probably will matter, like your proximity to Trump, whether you go to jail. I mean, we've just seen like pardons of all kinds of people happening. So like there's a certain level of carte blanche that maybe people are buying, and like maybe that's not a good thing. So I would say like there's some negatives too. There's been a couple tweets this week that we should discuss, one by Cobie and one by Arthur Hayes. So like obviously these are super OG guys. They've seen multiple cycles, and there were a couple of things that they each pointed out are going on. Cobie's mentioning token founders are offering kickbacks to bid coins on liquid market, particularly at token launch. They'll say, hey, buy 5 million of our token, we'll send you another 5 million, get a 50% discount as long as you hold. So what this does, it creates demand at TGE, inflates the price for potential OTC sales, and he calls it like high float, low float, high FDV on steroids. Basically, the way to think about it is people want to have a good launch. They're willing to pay for the good launch because nobody wants to have a bad launch. We saw Scroll, we saw some of these launches. If you go down, people just assume your project's dead. because like day one was bad, so the whole project's dead. And it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy because again, crypto is like bells and whistles, and it's just, you know, it's just whatever people think is reality, right? So what projects have naturally done, this is the game theory optimal thing to do, is like make sure you have buying pressure on your day one launch. And if you need to give, you know, more tokens in the future, that's fine. But like get in the game, be like a top 100 coin, because then you can kind of be relevant and just be willing to pay down the line for that. And the reason why Cobie calls this low float high FDV is because it kind of increases the unlocks later. Like you're creating more of this like future supply. But I don't know if this is like good or bad. It seems like a natural result of like people assuming your project's dead if you don't have, you know, a day one launch. I'm curious like what you guys think from looking at this.
It's probably because all these tokens launch at such high valuations with like no product essentially, or like very little product, that it's like the fair value is probably like very low, but they want to launch high. So it's GTO for them to just make sure that, you know, in the first week the price action is kind of flat. I mean, I don't know. Like if you create a good product with a good token, then you don't have to do this, right? So the fact that people do this probably just means that the token's dog shit.
Well,
Dog
I don't
shit
know if I
too.
agree with that, Taiki. Like, even if you have, you know, a great product that's going to launch at, you know, 1 billion, which is a huge success, right? Like, it's a unicorn. In the real world, creating a $1 billion company is like a 1 in a million thing. In crypto, it happens every week. But if you know, if you're going to launch at 1 billion normally and you do this and then you can get the price up to 2 billion, right? Like, it's still like a huge advantage. I don't know. I have mixed feelings on this. Like, on one hand, it allows like people that get the airdrop, like the smaller accounts, to have like a solid exit on day one if they actually sell. On the other hand, it's obviously like extremely sketchy because, you know, a lot of insiders are going to hedge out exposure when the FDV is extremely high, and it sort of sets you up. Like, it might not even end up being good for them in the long run if it sets them up for just like a slow drip to zero, which is what we're seeing now. I will say clearly not every project's doing it. I mean, it looks like with Barachain, they probably didn't have this deal going on. Jordi, do you want to talk about this tweet from Arthur?
Yeah, let's tie this in, I guess. I mean, this is a different situation here. I guess kind of the opposite one. Arthur is saying basically like the price is too high. He used the example of Barachain. Actually, Barachain is doing fine now. Like, you know, the chart is kind of uptrend from his screenshot. But one of the points which I agree with is you see that initial kind of candle around like $13. I think it went up to $15 on some exchanges. And this is a common thing. Like we see a lot of these like really crappy charts. The reason the crappiness happens is like there's that initial burst of activity where there's a lot of buyers, just like when a new club opens in town, like a new restaurant, like everybody just wants to book it because it's like the new thing in town. So it gets like this temporary like overexcitement. You know, I can get into like the market making deals and all this stuff, but obviously, as you can see in every single case, there's not enough supply being given at that moment to kind of cap things out. There's some launches that have gone very smooth and have avoided that. I remember Zerkid, like that was one of like the very nice launches. There's been a few launches that, you know, structure it properly, but the problem I think is with not giving enough supply at the very beginning to kind of control this like overexcitement. And maybe it's kind of related to like people just hoping to launch as high as possible, so like they don't want to like have tokens out. But we see the result. You know, the result is like the chart starts too high. I saw somebody say like, oh, Celestia did it right, because, you know, Celestia had this like chart. I'm sure Taiki remembers, you know, this like $2 and then going up to $20. But that's completely like irrelevant. That was launched in a bear market, and in the bear market, like 2 billion, you know, was good, and then they sort of like launched right as the bull market was starting, and obviously it's fully round tripped. So we're back to $3 now. It's not anything about, you know, the quality of the token. That was just a market timing thing. The reason why like both the Cobie tweet and the Arthur Hayes tweet are related is, as we all feel, there's a certain amount of like zero sumness to this, a certain amount of like narrative creates reality. We saw this very strongly with even things like Sui overtaking Aptos, and then suddenly it's just like Sui's the best tech and Aptos is the worst tech. Like,
yeah, I mean, I think a lot of what we're seeing is also just prices are down and people are sort of like looking at who to blame. And like to some extent, I definitely feel that too. I put out this tweet. I don't know if you guys have been following my Twitter. It's sort of been blown up lately. I just needed those Kaido yaps to sort of quantify how I was doing. Now I've been going after it. But I said, I think this is the first time since joining crypto in 2020 that I don't want to hold crypto. If that's not a bottom signal, I don't know what is. And like this, I really meant this, right? Like I hold ETH, but I'm really don't want to be holding it. I'm unhappy holding it. I think Solana is probably the better play now, but there's a lot of risk in Solana being basically all in on meme coins. Bitcoin is too expensive, especially as my tokens have devalued against Bitcoin. Like altcoins are scary and risky. If that's not a bottom signal, what is, right? But yeah, I don't know if any of you guys are feeling the same way.
Is it possible that maybe we're like at fair value for most things?
That's a nice way to put it. I think like some things are kind of getting near fair value. Actually, I'm like slowly picking up some stuff. Like, looks okay.
We got to normalize Bitcoin at 100K. We got to normalize ETH at 2,500. Solana at like 200. No, that seems reasonable. Yeah. Of course, like the meme coin stuff. Obviously, I have no idea. L1s, L2s, I have no idea. DeFi coins, I have no idea. But generally, it seems like
I don't
prices
know.
are fair.
Like, yes, but then you have XRP at number 4 at 141 billion market cap, 250 FDV, I want to say, right? I mean, there's still craziness going on that's hard to make sense of. I mean, Cardano is still number 9, right? Like that's astonishing.
I mean, your buddy Charles would beg to disagree. But yeah, we need more good projects. I'm sure like people are building, and I'm sure we'll see a lot of stuff in AI land.
Have you guys like taken another look at AI? Or you guys like, do you think that the AI cycle is over, or do you think now is the time to like get interested in these tokens that are down 70 to 90%? I mean, AI 16Z, I think, went down 90%. It's at 75% down now. It's bounced a little. It looks like Shaw's still working on this. It looks like they're dedicated. They're shipping. Like, do you guys think that comes back and gives us something to believe in again, or do you think it's time for a new meta?
I think AI will always be a meta, given how it like rules macro. There's a small risk that the current AI coins die, similar to how like no one cares about BitTensor or like Render or Akash anymore. I know Jordi and Justin may disagree, but it's like I think the best AI coin is Fartcoin. So I'm still if AI bounces, I think Fartcoin will bounce the hardest. So like that's kind of. But whether you disagree with like Fartcoin being an AI coin, I think the market has kind of shown that over time. I guess I'm kind of just have back bias with my Fartcoin, but yeah. What do you think, Jordi? Do you think the AI stuff, the AI agent slump is donezo?
I think that most of the coins are worthless, and that we'll get some huge winners. And like you said, how can it possibly be the end of the AI meta when literally the only thing happening in the world is AI? Like you look at the Mag 7 and Nvidia, and like it's all AI. Like what is Tesla doing? What is Google doing? Like what is everybody doing? It's simply one thing. And crypto has a role to play in it. I've said it before. I'm very convinced that the two industries will keep colliding. So it's just a matter of like waiting for new technological innovations to unlock more and more of the pieces of the pie. But it's an exciting time we're living in on that aspect. All right, guys, let's move to pasta of the week. Justin, you want to kick off pasta?
Sure. You got to laugh sometimes, right? POV, you bet against Ethereum the past 2 years. I wish I could say pays could be there.
It's not too late, Justin. It's not too
Instead
late.
of being at the beach like this happy bear, I'm here sitting. It's rainy outside. I'm locked into my desk looking for that last 2x. It's tough out here.
It's not too late, Justin.
It is though. It is.
Taiki, you wanna do your pasta?
Yeah, so obviously, my Fartcoin bags are down bad. I'm getting married next month, or so I thought. And I made that video on my YouTube channel how I've capitulated most of my bags. And then my fiance, she watched that video. She was like, "Taiki, why did you have so much money in Fartcoin to begin with?" And after that, I did some self-reflecting, and I'm finally able to say that I made some wife-changing money. She found out how much money we're down, and she left me. So, it's a sad time for the meme coin super cycle believers.
I thought we
it's
were
tough
gonna
out
have
here.
an uplifting episode, not be all depressive, and your pasta is about how life-changing money can be on the other side.
Wait. Okay, maybe Justin, you have my other pasta, right? I'm not expecting to win this week because maybe this is cheating. But if you want to be uplifting, like you said, Justin said that sentiments at all-time lows, and I've done some sentiment analysis, and according to the pussy index, people are extreme pussies. So maybe this is a good time to take the other side. This is more optimistic.
Nice. I've met this cousin crypto guy, and he's the exact kind of guy that would post something like this. So, shout out to my guy out there, cousin crypto. All right. Well, I have this pasta from one of my go-tos, Bold Leonidas here. We have the chart, and we have all the little sales everywhere. Sale, def sold. And the guy says, "Man, every pump fund looks the same." and he says, "Bro, this is ETH."
Taiki,
So-
Jordi, you didn't get the memo. It's supposed to be happy pastas.
Okay. So I have my usual ETH bashing pasta, but there's a happy pasta. I'm gonna do a little more Doge Queen video. We posted a bit of Doge Queen, and they have a new one with the LA Vape Cabal. The quality of these is just absurd. Like, I don't even know how it's possible that AI is getting so good. But yeah, let's play a few clips from this. This is just absurd.
Elevate cabal, smoking. Los Angeles, pumping, dumping in. Los Angeles, elevate cabal, we're elevate cabal, smoking.
Wait. So we just snipe it first, tell everyone it's the future, and then we just dump on these idiots?
Yes, Mr. Ross.
It's literally free money. It's like when your mom gives you lunch money, but instead of buying lunch, you sell your lunch to the autistic kid for double the price. And then when that kid tries to sell it again, boom, that's when we move on to another school and do it again.
What?
Bro. Okay. Imagine a burger. We buy all the burgers before anyone knows burgers are low-key Pujay. Then we start tweeting like, holy fuck, burgers are the future. They ape in. By the time they realize burgers are just, burgers were already tacos.
Huh? What?
Fidget
All right.
spinners.
It's pretty good.
So, have you guys been watching any of these clips of the Vape Cabal and Thread Guy and these dudes? Seems like there's a lot
I
of-
have. I think Thread Guy's a good dude, actually. I don't know much about the others, but
Like all love the Thread Guy. The thing is, like, people love to give like these Twitch streamers like hate, but someone has to do it, right? Someone has to make these type of content. You can disagree with what they're saying and whatnot.
well, no one has to, but
I guess so. We crypto needs content creators like us. Just like self-deprecating humor. I was kind of thinking about this. I feel like crypto Twitter culture can't be a thing unless people can like dunk on doxed people, right? And like the LA Vape Cabal, it's easy to like dunk on them. Taiki Maeda, easy to dunk on. So the doxed people, helps make the world go around. At least for CT, I think.
I haven't gotten dunked on in years. The only thing I ever get dunked on I see is like there's some like Olympus Ohm guys from like 4 years ago. And it's so funny. Like, I'll post something and then there'll be some like hater from Olympus be like, have you checked the price of Olympus? You were wrong. You got it all wrong. Like,
It's like
don't
the
listen to this
Japanese
guy.
soldiers from World War II stuck in the jungle that don't know the war's over.
It went from like $1,000 down to like 10, and now I don't know. Can you bring up the
It's
chart? Is it up to
23.
like?
It's up
Is
only.
it up to 20? Okay. I'm sorry. It
Yeah.
went from 10 to 23. So I take it all back. It was not a Ponzi.
It's actually a pretty interesting token. They have a bunch of treasury assets and they just like farm. So like the RFV value just goes up, and then they invested. I think they own 1% of Bearchain. So if Bearchain cooks, then maybe in 3 years Olympus will be worth like a bunch because you can like redeem the treasury value at some point.
All right.
It's better.
Well, now
It's outperformed ETH, right? So
We know
Yeah.
Taiki's next DeFi buy.
I full ape ohm and I give Jordi shit. Full port ohm. Let's
man.
go.
Let's run it back. Let's run it back, guys. Let's do it. And then I'll get Justin to buy what was the green version of it? There was the popular green Olympus DAO thing.
Oh, Klima.
Klima. Yeah. Just
Yeah.
you could be the Klima guy. We'll see what
They're
happens.
still working. Ironically, I was doing fundamental analysis on Klima like a month or two ago, and they're still like working. You know, I think they have a bunch of VE arrow, so like they have a bunch of liquidity on this thing. Like obviously, like I have no idea what the fuck they're trying to do, but they're still working.
All right, $44,000 trading volume. Looks like another solid
Wait,
recovery
Jordi, you
there.
said it yourself at the start of the show. People think because the token's dead, the project is dead, right? It's not just all bells and whistles. These guys are, possibly doing
Yeah.
something, maybe.
Yeah,
Possibly.
Yeah, possibly. Good. All right, we'll see you next week. We'll get the founder of Klima DAO to come on and tell us how he's going to turn it around. All right, take care, everybody.